Day, and I'm here with another text to teach you, being the first semester of the students. And today we are going to deal with one more text, that is Tom Jones, a foundling. Students, can you hear me? Am I audible to you? Am I audible? I hope I am audible to you. Yeah. Students, am I audible to you? Please, yeah, fine. Yeah. Today, I'm going to deal with you one more text, Tom Jones, a foundling. What is the meaning of a foundling? Tom Jones, a foundling. A foundling means an infant that has been abandoned by its parents, and cared for someone. Tom Jones is the protagonist of the novel, and he is the protagonist of the novel. Protagonist, who is a protagonist? Is the main character of the story, revolves. The whole story revolves. And there is Sir Sworthy, as Alsworthy, a man of high social, standing, who owns and lives in an estate in a rural area, especially the chief landlord in that particular area. And he is the one who brings up this Tom Jones. Tom Jones is an adopted child of Squire Alsworthy. This particular novel is a comic romance. This particular novel entitled Tom Jones is a romantic comic, comic romance, and you should understand there are two words in this particular novel: romantic and comedy. What do you mean by comedy? Comedy is something, a story which evokes the love. Romance means a love story where the story ends with lots of happiness. Here, in many of the stories which deal with desire, jealousy, hatred, and heartache. Heartache means where the heroine cheats hero. All these facts are found in this particular novel. Tom Jones, to speak particularly about that person, is a womanizer, a man who engages in numerous casual sexual affairs with women. In fact, Tom is an illegitimate son of someone, and it doesn't know about his caste, it doesn't know about his parents. And to speak further about this novel, As I told you, this novel belongs to the comedy of genre, and but at the end of the story here, most of the romantic comedies here, where the hero meets the heroine and the united, but before that they have to go through a roller coaster ride. The same thing happens with Tom Jones as well. Tom Jones, Tom Jones here is the hero of the story, where he meets his heroine or the lover. The story ends in a happy note. But before that, we should note that there are many ups and downs in life of Tom Jones. Tom Jones. So let us understand a few facts about this particular novel. This novel is published on 28th of February 1749. It was written during the 18th century, and this novel beautifully depicts the 18th century society. This particular novel depicts the 18th century society. The whole novel is written in 18 books. How many books it has been written? It has been completed with 18 books. And this particular novel was published during the 18th century. The exact year is 1749. I hope you are very clear about this incident, when and where the novel is published. This is the background of the story. Do you have any questions to ask? Students, do you have any questions to ask? Please ask me, or else I'll continue further. Yeah. So the novel begins like this. The story of this particular novel begins like this. There was a landowner whose art is very good, and he is a hearted person, and his name is Squire Alsworthy, and his name is Paradise Hall, and which is situated in the southwestern England. His estate is situated in southwestern England, and his name of the estate is Paradise Hall. And we are told that he is a kind-hearted person. He stays with his unmarried sister, Miss Bridget Alsworthy. Where he stays with his sister, Bridget Alsworthy, who is an unmarried girl. Basically, Squire Alsworthy doesn't have any children. Just to things about him, he doesn't have any children. Once when he returned from England to his estate named Paradise Hall, when he was returning from England, and he finds a small child which was kept on his bed. And he is so shocked to see a child who is crying on his bed. After inquiring about the child, he comes to know there is a lord nearby where Miss Jenny Jones, and she is the servant of Partridge, and she was an intelligent woman, was working there in that particular estate, and she is the mother of Tom Jones. When she was inquired about the child, and she agrees that she is the real mother of that particular child, and later Squire Alsworthy decides that he's going to bring up that particular child as his own. And in order to bring up the child, he gives some amount of money to that lady and asks him to move away from that particular area. And he wants to bring up the child as his own child. So we are introduced with two more characters. We are introduced with two more characters. So let us proceed further and let us learn what is going to happen. He gives some money to Jenny Jones. Her name is Jenny Jones, and she's asked to go away from that particular place so that he can bring up this particular child as his own. So Squire Alsworthy's sister, Bridget Alsworthy, is very, very attractive. And she's unmarried. The fact here is whoever marries this particular sister named Bridget Alsworthy, will inherit all the properties from Squire Alsworthy, because the reason is Alsworthy is not married, he doesn't have any children, and he is the one, maybe the child who is going to born to Alsworthy Bridget will get or inherit all the properties from him. So the Alsworthy doesn't have any children, so lots of people come and propose their wishes to marry Bridget Alsworthy. Now let me pause here for a moment. Let us pause here for a moment. We are given information about lots of characters here. One is about Tom Jones. Just a minute. Squire Alsworthy, and one more lady about whom Alsworthy inquires, and she is supposed to be the mother of this particular child, Tom Jones. So there is a person named Captain Bleffel, and he is the captain in the army, and he wanted to marry this Bridget Alsworthy, and he is not looking handsome. He is quite. He looks so quite ugly, and he tries to seduce Alsworthy, Bridget Alsworthy, and finally, and he is married to Alsworthy Bridget. Tom Jones usually he doesn't like Blifil. He always wished Alsworthy, Squire Alsworthy, to throw him away from the estate or from his own house. Remember that Jenny Jones, when Alsworthy, Squire Alsworthy inquires to this particular lady and about this child, and she says that she is the real mother of that particular child, and he names him Tom Jones, and that is the why this particular text is entitled as Tom Jones. Jenny Jones, and we assume that she is the mother of this child. So Blifil comes there, and he wanted to marry her, and he marries finally after seducing Alsworthy Bridget, the only sister of Squire Alsworthy. So Tom Jones doesn't like this particular Blifil. He always wished him to the house or thrown out of the estate. He thinks that all the properties will come to Blifil's son if Bridget gives birth to a son. Captain Blifil introduces Alsworthy, introduces one more character here, the school teacher, that is Patrick here, and he goes and reports to Squire Alsworthy, stating him that he is the real father of Tom Jones. And I have inquired about Tom Jones, and he is the real father. He is the real father, and Tom Jones' father is revealed to Squire Alsworthy. But whereas Squire Alsworthy doesn't pay lots of attention, doesn't pay attention to this particular. Alsworthy doesn't pay much attention to his scene. Before he plans to throw or get rid of Tom Jones, because there is a rival. Tom Jones is the rival of Blifil. Blifil is the rival. Rival means what? Great enemy. So Tom Jones is the rival to Blifil. Before he plans to get rid of Tom Jones from the house, Mr. Blifil dies of apoplexy. 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 What is the meaning of apoplexy? Apoplexy is a disease where the unconsciousness or incapacity resulting from the cerebral hemorrhage or stroke. So let us come to one point that because of stroke, he dies. And he wanted to throw Tom Jones from his house. And because of stroke, he dies. Before he died, he had a son. Remember, before he died, he had a son named Master William Blifil. And he is the son of Blifil and Bridget the sister of wait a minute, and is the son of Blifil and Bridget, sister of Squire Alsworthy. He is an hypocrite and Tom Jones' rival. The son turns out to be the greatest enemy of Tom Jones. Then the story moves forward to 12 years. So that is how the story stops there and moves 12 years ahead. So I'll stop here for a moment. Dear students, what do you understand about Tom Jones? And what do you understand about Squire Alsworthy is a good human being who could be able to bring up Tom Jones in the society? And who is Blifil? What kind of person he is? Why does he want to take revenge on Tom Jones? Assume further as the story begins here, and what kind of relationship Master William Blifil will have with Tom Jones. These are maybe William Blifil is quite younger to Tom Jones, and what kind of relationship they will have further in their life. The story is forwarded 12 years later. And what happens after 12 years? After 12 years, Tom Jones and Blifil are now teenagers. They have grown, maybe 14 or 15 years of old, teenagers. Master Blifil and Tom Jones are not, their relationship is not up to the mark. Tom Jones is very mischievous boy, but a kind-hearted person. In page number 78 of the text, and it is clearly mentioned, and it is told that Tom Jones, even though Tom Jones is a mischievous child, but is a kind-hearted person. He steals apples from the house and gives it to Black George, the servant of Squire Alsworthy. 14 or 15 years of old child, here he steals few of the apples from the house and gives it to the servant of the house named Black George. Black George. What kind of person he is? Is a kind-hearted man, of course, who serves. I'm talking about Black George. Of course, he serves the house for many years. And the relationship of Tom Jones with Black George, it is very similar. Whereas Tom Jones tells lots of lies. He is a womanizer. Womanizer means who has lots of relationship with many women, and he has cultivated the habit of drinking. And he doesn't pretend. He doesn't play fool with anyone. He doesn't pretend, and he doesn't play fool with anyone. He presents himself to be an actual human being. Being a teenager, you should have fallen with many, yes, you should have fallen in love with many women. But 1 minute. Yeah, he should have fallen in love with many women, but whereas here he is a, it doesn't play fool with anyone. It doesn't pretend. That is the word, pretend. It doesn't play fool with anyone. So whereas Blifil, that small child, William Blifil, he wants to be in the good books of the people. He wants to be in the good books of the people, and he just pretends to be good to others. Mr. Thomas Square and Reverend Roger, and these people were hired to teach, and they are the tutors. That is Thomas Square, and Reverend Roger are hired to teach Tom and Blifil. And these people are hired to teach some formal education, or to give formal education to both Blifil and Tom Jones. The tutors like only Blifil, because he learns well, and from outside he looks to be very perfect. Maybe within the heart it doesn't. And whereas when we compare Blifil with Tom Jones is an outspoken person, but he doesn't hide anything in his heart. He looks rough to handle, and whereas Blifil plays fool with the people around him. Even the tutors try to like Blifil because he looks very kind person outside. Remember the sentence, please. He wants to be in the good books of the people. He wants to be in the good books of the people. And Tom Jones is very tough to handle. And meanwhile, near the estate, there is a squire. Near the estate of Squire Alsworthy, there is a person who is also owning and who is also having an estate, and his name is Squire Western, and he lives with his daughter Sophia Western, and she falls in love with Tom Jones because they are teenagers. Yeah, someone has told me that there is a message. Please continue. Yes, sir. Yeah. There is a they both Tom Jones and that young boy Blifil, William Blifil, they are very teenagers, and whereas here near the estate of Alsworthy, and there is a man who lives there, and his name is, as I told you before, Squire Weston, and he lives with his daughter Sophia. Sophia falls with Tom Jones, but whereas Tom Jones is having an affair with Molly Zagrin. Molly, let us consider her name is Molly, and she is the daughter of Black George, the servant of Squire Alsworthy. Remember in the third chapter or fourth chapter where Tom Jones steals some of the apples and hands over to the servant named Black George, and he is a faithful servant too. Alsworthy. He hands over some of the apples to him, and he has a daughter named Molly, and with whom, and people think that, and he is in love with. It seems that Tom Jones loves Molly. When Molly, let us understand further as the story progresses, when Molly becomes pregnant, Tom thinks that the child which is there inside her womb is Mr. Alsworthy tries to save Tom Jones from being cheated or from being caught or being sent to the jail. From being sent to a jail. Because in those days, a man sleeps with a woman, and if that particular woman becomes pregnant, he will be sentenced to the jail for many, many years. Maybe life imprisonment, maybe he will be hanged. So, Squire Alsworthy saves Tom Jones from this criminal activity. Later, Tom Jones comes to know that Molly is a promiscuous, Promiscuous, promiscuous means that means she's having a relationship with lots of people in the society, and he comes to know that she is a promiscuous. That means she is having a lots of relationship with many people in the society or in that estate. So he clears his case in the court and comes out of the problem. So the problem between Molly and Tom Jones is cleared. So he goes and confesses his love to Sophia. Again, is infatuated. Remember, students, the age between 13 to 17, even present scenario here when we compare, most of the young men and women fall in love with. That is where our physical attraction looks to be stronger, where a boy aged about 13 or 14, he longs to have a relationship with a girl. I'm talking about the physical relationship. A girl aged between 14 to 17, and she longs to have physical relationship with a man. But here, and we are very clear that Tom Jones had a physical contact with Molly when she became pregnant when she was 14 years old, and Tom Jones thinks that, and he is the father of that particular child. And because of Squire Alsworthy, and he is saved. He is saved. And again, after coming out of the problem, he just goes and confesses his love to Sophia, but this is not the happy ending story. Maybe we think that the story ends here, and Tom Jones proposes to Sophia. Sophia agrees his love, and they are happy. They are married. They are having children. They will become old. They will die. This is not the end of the story here. The story doesn't end at this particular point. Now the story takes lots of twists and turns from this angle. So I'll stop here and I will pause here my explanation or maybe my narration about Tom Jones, I would like to ask you one or two questions about Tom Jones novel. My first question is, what do you understand about Tom Jones? What do you think? What kind of personality he had? And second is, what kind of man is Squire Alsworthy? And my last question before I continue my talk about this novel, further talk about this novel, what kind of society that you can find about in Tom Jones' novel till so far? Students, do you understand? Students, did you understand so far? Any questions to ask, please ask me. Do you have any questions to ask? Any clarifications? You can text me there. I'm ready to answer. Yeah. If there is no question, I'll continue further. Later in the story, as the story starts there, after proposal of Tom Jones to Sophia, Mr. Alsworthy falls sick and thinks that he's going to die. Here is where the story takes lots of twists and turns. Here is where the story takes a different turn, where Squire Alsworthy feels that he is going to die, and he calls his lawyer to write his will, W-I-L-L, will. Will means, what do you mean? What do you mean by, what is the meaning of will? Will is something where all the properties of is are forced to give or is given to someone else or passed to someone else after his death. That is called will. So he calls a lawyer, and after his death, majority of the share will go to William Blifil, that is the son of his own sister, that is Bridget. And only the tiny portion of his property will go to Tom Jones. That's how he writes his will. Later, Tom Jones doesn't feel bad about it, and he doesn't care about the property. And he spends majority or the quality of time by the side of Squire Alsworthy, who is quite sick. When Tom Jones used to talk, he used to talk lots of things, about lots of good things to Squire Alsworthy. As the days passes by, as the days progresses by, Squire Alsworthy's health becomes, or he just, his health progresses. He just improves his health condition. So with that happiness, Tom Jones wanted to have a party there, and in that party, he drinks a lot, he consumes lots of alcohol, and there he fights with Blifil. And He raises the hand with Blifil, and Blifil calls the illegitimate son and illegitimate son. Or illegal child. Blifil calls Tom Jones as an illegal child. Illegal child. So Tom Jones gets angry and wanted to punish him. There is a big fight between Blifil, William Blifil, and Tom Jones. And he tries to spend most of the time with Molly. Who is Molly? The daughter of Black George, the servant. And meanwhile, this particular Bridget, that is sister of Alsworthy's sister, Squire Alsworthy's sister, Alsworthy Bridget, dies. And before he dies, he just sends a letter. He sends a letter to his her own brother, and whereas Master Blifil takes the letter with him and tries to tear off and set fire. He doesn't give the letter to his uncle, maternal uncle, Squire Alsworthy. And someone told that Sophia is involved in love affair with Blifil. Someone just tells the people around that particular estate that Sophia is in love with Blifil. Western, the father of Sophia, feels happy because of two reasons. One is the daughter is married to the upper class people in the society, where that Squire Alsworthy is socially accepted as the richest man in that particular country. And second one is Sophia is going to live quite closer to the estate, where whenever Mr. Weston feels to meet her, and he can meet her. Two reasons he is happy. He is giving his daughter in marriage to the person who is equally socially equal to his own esteem. And secondly, Sophia will be near to his house. But whereas the story here takes quite twist here, whereas as I told you before, Sophia is in love with Tom Jones. When Sophia tells her father about the love affair between him and Tom Jones, he doesn't agree. And he tells Sophia that Tom Jones doesn't have any background. He doesn't know about his origin and to which caste he belongs to, whether he's given birth properly, whether he is an illegal child. He doesn't agree to this marriage. When Sophia proposes is her love about Tom Jones to her father, he rejects. And Mr. Weston goes and informs about all these things to Squire Alsworthy, stating that Tom Jones loves my daughter, even my daughter is in love with him. And Blifil comes to that picture and reports to Alsworthy about Tom Jones' personal affairs. It talks about Tom Jones affair with so many women in the village, and he drinks and is a womanizer. Womanizer means, as I told you, having lots of relationship with so many women. So many women. So Tom Jones is, I'm just trying to cut short of the novel, where it's quite bulky book. It takes 5 to 6 hours for me to teach. It's very, very difficult for me to comprise in one hour. But I'll try my level best to finish it. So Blifil reports about Tom Jones to Alsworthy, and what kind of person he is, what kind of relationship he had with the other women, and how he's called as a womanizer. So how he spends too much of time with different people, and how he drinks in this with so many people. Mr. Halsworthy calls and inquires with Tom. Tom is, as I told you before, he is an open-hearted person who always tells lies to Alsworthy. Remember, Alsworthy is the man, Squire Alsworthy is the man who brought Tom Jones up by his own hands. He was an orphaned child, and whom he discovers on his bed. And he doesn't hide anything from Alsworthy. He openly tells, yes, I drink, I have a lots of relationship with lots of women in the town. There is not much left with Alsworthy, and he has to be sent out of the country or sent out of the house. Finally, Tom Jones is sent out of the house because he thinks that if Tom Jones is kept in this particular house, and he will bring defame to the family. He doesn't say that he's a brought up child. He thinks that he is always his own child. He never told before, even he never told his sister that is the brought up child. He wanted Tom Jones to be a successful person in the town or in the whole estate. For time being, it doesn't have other option of being sending him out of the house. So he doesn't want to leave Sophia in this condition, because remember, he doesn't want to leave Sophia in this condition, but whereas he has to accept the fact and move away. He doesn't want to go out of his home or go away from his home, and he has to accept the fact and he has to move away. What happened from childhood till now, how the story progresses. Why I am telling the story in detail is, please take down few of the important points there so that it will be very helpful for you. I am trying my level best to complete this particular novel, and if I'm not able to continue, I'll try to continue in the next class tomorrow, and I will finish it along with other texts. Sophia doesn't want to get married to Blifil. There is a force from Mr. Weston, the father of Sophia, and he wanted Sophia to get married to Blifil. And he came to know that Tom Jones is an illegal child and he doesn't have any authority over the properties of Squire Weston, even though Squire Weston has given only the tiny portion of property, tiny of the property, and it thinks that it doesn't have any authority over the property. Only Blifil, the son of Alsworthy Bridget, will have an authority over all the properties in Squire Alsworthy's estate. And he wanted Sophia to get married to him. She decides to run away from the house. Love conquers all. That is one of the statements here. Because Sophia and Tom Jones are truly in love. Even though Sophia belongs to the upper class society, and she wanted to be a true human being to Tom Jones. And she doesn't want to betray her love to Tom Jones. That is the only reason why Sophia is protesting against the wishes of her father. Father's wish is to get her married to Blifil, the son of Bridget and nephew of Squire Alsworthy. But she thinks that it is not going to work out, and she wants to run away from the house. When Blifil comes to know about Weston's wishes, he just wants to marry Sophia. Even Blifil comes to know that Weston wanted his daughter to be married to Blifil. Blifil feels happy because he is a happy-going person. It converts, his feeling is converted into lust, that is physical attraction. He doesn't want to get married to Sophia, but whereas he have physical relationship with her, that is called physical attraction. So I'll stop here for the moment. I want to continue, but it will take another 30 minutes for me to complete this novel. But I don't want to just hurry up and finish it with 5 or 6 sentences. So I'm here to tell you how to concentrate about this novel. What are the things, what are the perspective of the novel, the questions are going to be asked. The question will be asked on Tom Jones' character and what kind of Jones is, and how is the relationship with Sophia is. Critically compare and contrast the characteristics or the characters of Sophia and Tom Jones. Two of the questions. Question is, comment on the title of the story or the novel, Tom Jones. What do you understand about the title of the story, Tom Jones? And the third question is, write a small description about Alsworthy Bridget, the sister of Squire Alsworthy. So these are the few important things that you need to keep it in mind till I just narrated the story. Any questions, students, please ask me before I wind up so that I can continue tomorrow. Do you have any questions to ask? Please ask me. I'm not in my classes. I'm here to explain in the text. I will tell you What are the things that to be learned for the purpose of examination? I have been keep on repeating, don't study or don't read a particular text for the sake of reading for the examination. Read for the sake of examination, you are not a true lover of literature. To learn or try to read a particular text with the inner by the purpose of reading, by inner meaning of the text, then only you will be able to understand a particular text. There are many chapters, there are many papers which are there. Chaucer to Milton, Shakespearean paper, Restoration comedies, and Indian English literature, Caribbean literature. All these papers are the different segments of literature. But unless and until if you don't have the habit of loving literature, you will not score good marks in the examination. Don't read only a particular text. You want to score good marks, just read the related, that is called extra reading materials. Your book which is given to you, that is SLM, you are given lots of material, reading materials. Please go through it. You will be able to understand. Writing the answer. No. Quality is more important than quantity. Let me tell you one thing. Quality is more important than quantity. You can write 10 pages with maybe with lots of stories. But if you write a quality answer with a quarter of a page or 1 page, it will fetch you good marks. As an evaluator, I'm telling you, we expect an quality answer, a quality answer rather than quantity. Read, write well. Students, it is time up, second year students, and I'll try to continue tomorrow, text as well tomorrow. If you have any doubts, you can ask me, so that I'll wind up and I'll continue. So there is no WhatsApp group. There is no WhatsApp group. There is no WhatsApp group here, and only we have only Telegram group. Okay, students, will continue tomorrow.
Good afternoon, everyone. Since in this session, I'm going to talk about Shakespearean sonnets and criticism. This belongs to Hardcore 1.4, and in this session, I'm going to talk about Shakespearean sonnets number 15 to 18, 29, 30, 71, especially the block one. Okay, the whole block I'm going to deal with in this session, and all Shakespearean sonnets. There are 11 Shakespearean sonnets prescribed in this block particularly. So, in this session, I am going to talk about the history of sonnet, background, and who were the prior or contemporary of Shakespeare who also used this sonnet form. Okay, then the mentioned sonnets, which are prescribed for your study this semester under Block One. And regarding Shakespeare, we all know that what a great master he is, master playwright he is. And Shakespeare, we all know that he is credited with writing 154 sonnets, and which were published in a single volume in 1609. And in the tradition of courtly love, sonnets were written from a male lover to a female beloved. And as in the case of English poets like Edward Spencer and Sir Philip Sidney, both both of these poets, they were writing just prior to or contemporary with Shakespeare. Okay, although it is not clear to whom Shakespeare addressed his sonnets, or whether we don't know, but then we can consider, or we can divide Shakespearean 154 sonnets into two sections. Okay, first section, the two sonnet number 1 to 126, they are called as, or they are referred to his friend Henry Ridley, and he says all these sonnets ends with WH, which means Henry Ridley, like that. So although it is not clear sometimes, but it is usually thought that most of the first 126 sonnets seem to address his close friend as a patronage, who patronized Shakespeare while writing his sonnets, or played in his career, especially his beginning career was patronized by him. And so it is usually thought that most of the first 126 sonnets seem to address a pale youth, uh, um, uh, sometimes referred to a handsome young man, while most of the latter sonnet, I think 127 to 154 sonnets, were addressed to a dark lady. Doesn't mean that I'm talking about the complexion of a girl or a lady, but her identity is unknown to everyone. So, although many of his sonnets use the conventional rhetorical senses of courtly love, there is no way of knowing that whether they are expressions of genuine romantic love by Shakespeare for a particular person. So, this is all about the history or background to Shakespearean sonnets. And let me give you a brief introduction regarding the sonnet form. The sonnet, as you all know, that it is a highly styled, stylish, and even fixed verse form invented by Italian Renaissance poets in the 13th century. Okay, so we know that sonnet means a 14-lined poem. There are two types of sonnets in English literature. One is Italian sonnet or Petrarchan sonnet, or Shakespearean sonnet and Shakespearean sonnet. So Italian or Petrarchan sonnets are same, but Shakespearean sonnet, both the sonnets, they are same in their form, like 14-line poems, but the pattern is different. So in Petrarchan sonnet, we have three quatrains and a couplet or a couplet, but in Shakespearean sonnet, we have Shakespearean sonnet we have three quatrains and a couplet, but in Italian sonnet we have octave and a sestet. Octave consists of 8 lines, and sestet consists of 6 lines. So both are 14-line poems. So both the forms, Italian form and Shakespearean form, it has its, both the sonnets have 14 lines, but they follow different rhyme scheme and different pattern. A sonnet develops a single sentiment or idea. I told you that in normally in Shakespearean in first form stop, first 1 to 126 sonnets dedicated to his close friend. To it elaborates and it glorifies love and friendship, okay, and life and so on. And 127 to 154 sonnet, it also talks about true love, sincere love, and how a beloved should be, how a lover should be, like that. So what is, and he also talks about the importance of time and so many beauty, and sometimes we have a central theme like flower, river, like that. But ultimately, the central idea of the poem will be true, sincere love. Then, how a sonnet develops a single sentiment or idea, and generally it has a clarification or a turn of thought. Somewhere in the latter half, usually either at the ninth or 13th line in the poem, this is something different. So the Petrarchan sonnet, which is named after the Italian poet Petrarch, which divides the 14 lines into two sections, as I told you. It also has a different rhyming scheme. Okay. Then we have what 6 line stanza octave. It is known as sesset, known as rhyme CD 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 and CD CD, and sorry CD ED. Then CD CD or CDC CDC or CDEDC. This is the rhyming scheme of Petrarchan sonnet. So in this type of sonnet, we have the octave always develops a question, problem, or tension. Then sesset followed by a see, though I have been doing the same, but still we are facing the same problem. I don't know what to do with this. Okay, let me try. Let me check. Hope I'm audible now. Am I audible? Students, please reply me. Am I audible now? Anyone should reply, respond. Okay. Let me continue with Shakespearean sonnet, what I was discussing about. And I have told that Shakespeare is credited with 154 sonnets, and how all his sonnets can be considered or divided into two sections. sonnet number 1 to 126 can be called as it is dedicated to his close friend Henry Ridley, as all these sonnets ends with WH initial, which means Henry Ridley. He was an earl of some place, and earl means chief, then Earl of Southampton, it seems, and who patronaged or who helped Shakespeare to publish his poems, and who helped Shakespeare in many ways to continue his career and to support his career. So, this is what I was discussing in just for about 8 to 10 minutes. And again, the audio problem occurred, and really, we don't know. This is kind of great problem we have been faced by us all these days. Yeah, definitely offline classes will be there, because from, as I told you, as it is as of now, it has been scheduled according to 19 to 25th. We have offline classes, but don't know, it may change because most of us have got election duties and other things. It may change, or it may postpone, or it may remain. And definitely you will be yeah, because if you want to listen to my voice, I cannot be visible to you because I'm trying this way. At least my lecture should reach you, because if I switch on the video, then you cannot able to hear my voice. So I'm trying to reach you by doing so many exercises here. Even I sought our technical team support. They say, ma'am, this is what I have been faced by all the teachers all these days. Don't worry, in offline classes, we hope we are not facing all this, we won't face all these kinds of problems. uh, yeah, then I was that's what I was talking about, as I told you that I have taken block one from Hardcore 1.4, Shakespearean sonnets and criticism. Okay, and here 11 sonnets have been prescribed for you under block one, and in this semester, and you are going to study this. As I told you that, as we all familiar with Shakespearean sonnet, we know he has written 154 sonnets, and which were published in 1609, and all these sonnets can be divided into two sections from 1 to 126. These are the sonnets dedicated to his close friend Henry Ridley. Then sonnets number 127 to 154 have been called as, or it can be termed as, the Dark Lady series. So the Dark Lady series means, not I'm talking about she was very dark, so these sonnets were dedicated to her, but her identity was unknown to anyone. And even now, most of the critics, and we don't have authentic information that to whom sonnets, Shakespearean sonnets have addressed to. But still, we have to study the sonnets because it's very important. And as regarding sonnet, you are familiar with this sonnet, hope, because you might have studied at your Q level or graduation level. Sonnet is a 14 line poem, right? And in English history, or in the history of English literature, we have two kinds of sonnets. One is Italian sonnet or Petrarchan sonnet. Normally, Italian sonnets are named after a famous poet, Italian poet Petrarch. So these sonnets can be considered as Petrarchan sonnet. And for Petrarchan sonnet is also have 14 lines only, three by following the format of three quatrains and a couplet. Three quatrain, each quatrain contains four lines, and sorry, in Petrarchan sonnet you have two stanzas. One is octave and the sestet. First eight lines are is considered as, first like eight lines, they form a group and it is called as octave, and then remaining six lines are called as sestet in Petrarchan sonnet. And we have Shakespearean sonnet. And Shakespearean sonnet, it also has 14 lines, and it is also a 14 line poem, but a different format. One is, as I told you that the Shakespearean sonnet has 14 lines, three quatrains, and followed by a couplet. Three quatrains means each quatrain contains 4 lines. So 3 into 4, 12. As I told you that this is a sonnet of 14 lines and a couplet followed by, and it has 2 lines. Couplet is followed by this one, 3 quatrains. So couplet is a 2-line stanza. Got it? Hope I'm making myself clear. Now, am I audible enough or are you facing any problem? No problem, no? I'm audible enough. Yeah, as I was discussing that the sonnet number, let me start with sonnet number 15. Okay, and what is the importance of, or what is the central idea of this poem? No, ma'am, again. I'm not audible again. Okay, let my video be off. Hope I am audible now. Yeah. Because these are the video classes. No, if we switch off the video, this cannot be considered as video classes or online classes, but we don't have any other options. Yeah, you just drop me a message the moment my voice will become feeble. Yeah, I was talking about what the sorry, metrical pattern of both the sonnets, Petrarchan sonnet and the Shakespearean sonnet, and rhyming scheme. This differs. This is just for your understanding, or this is for just for your knowledge sake. I'm telling you all these things, and even you should also know the sonnet was brought to England by Sir Thomas Watt and Henry Howard, or Earl of Surrey, in 16th century. Sonnets written in English that follow this format are called, I told you earlier, in English, even English poets, they used to follow the Petrarchan form, Petrarchan style. Okay, the documents says it. But Shakespeare did not want to follow the same, so he invented his own way of writing sonnet. That is 3 quatrains and followed by a couplet. So English poets normally developed a distinct rhyme scheme in which the first 3 quatrains or group of 4 lines possessed independent rhyme scheme. And I told you, I was telling about how octave in Petrarchan sonnet, they used to come up with some question, problem, or tension, and so on. But Sesset, we used to give an answer to the problem raised by the Sesset. And this is how the Italian sonnets, sonneteers, and even sometimes the early English poets of the 16th century, they used to follow. And later, what happens after Sir Thomas Watt and Earl of Surrey, they used to follow a different kind of sonnet and a different kind of, they used to form a different kind of sonnet form. And then even Shakespeare also started a different kind of rhyming scheme like A B C D C D E F E F G G. This is the rhyming scheme of his sonnet, Shakespearean kind of Shakespearean invented form of sonnet. So some of Shakespearean sonnets have the Petrarchan style sometimes, but in some other sonnets of Shakespeare, normally all of the sonnets have the same thing. But while forming or while framing the idea or central idea or central theme of the poem, he might have followed the Petrarch. So sonnets following the medieval tradition of Italy, or medieval form of a tradition of courtly love, which were often written to an idealized lady love or to someone the speaker or poet admired. So group of sonnets dedicated to a particular woman are called sonnet sequences. So Petrarch, Italian poet, he wrote his sonnet to a woman named Laura. Okay, so the 16th century English poet Sir Philip Sidney wrote his sonnets to someone he called Stella. Got it? Hope you are following me. Or again, problem. Okay, don't worry. I'll switch off my video. Hope I'm audible now. Okay, am I audible? As I told you that Italian poet, Petrarchan, he had dedicated his sonnets to a girl or his lady love called Laura, and whereas 16th century English poet Sir Philip Sidney, who dedicated his poet to his lady Laura. Got it? This is just for your information's sake. Just remember, no need to write in your examination. Then, what do you mean by courtly love? Courtly love was a highly conventionalized code of behavior for noble ladies. Okay, since courtly love is the main theme or the central theme of all these sonnets, we should know what does it mean and what is the definition of this courtly love. This is the code of behavior for noble ladies and their male lovers that became prevalent in the literature of Western Europe during the latter Middle Ages. Got it? So it is originated in Europe and it stemmed from the troubadour, especially troubadour poetry of southern France in the 11th century. This courtly love is the concept which emerged from France in the 11th century, and the troubadours were poet musicians who traveled primarily around France and in some instances northern Italy and singing about unrequited love and tales of knighthood and so on. And this tradition spread across the Europe, okay, spread from France, then across the continent, and later it came into Britain, England. There it influenced Arthurian romance, stories about King Arthur and his knights, and the writings of English writer Geoffrey Chaucer in 14th century. I think you have studied Chaucer also this semester, right? I think someone has might have taught you in these classes, online classes. So a courtly lover is typically a knight, and the object of his love is a noble lady who is beautiful, graceful, pure, and virtuous, but usually unattainable for him. Got it? Why these this kind of sonnet is what these sonnets are meant for describing all this courtly love, because normally this courtly love used to be between the noble ladies and between knights or the dukes or the monarchs. They wanted to spread or they wanted to convey their love to their lady love, and but sometimes it would be very difficult for them to do so. And as I told you that though that lady is beautiful, virtuous, pure, sometimes this might be so because she's superior to him in social classes or social status, because she is already married to someone, or because she is simply indifferent to the other courtly lover. So still the courtly lover idealizes his beloved, treating her as his sovereign, for whom he performs all sort of uh, noble deeds, even though he can never hope to actualize his love for her. And in spite of having the knowledge that he cannot able to succeed in what proposing her lover, his lover, or maybe he also not hopeful that his love may reach her, but still he wanted to, for him she is the noble great lady, and he just cannot forget her and forget her beauty or forget her attitude and so on. That is, this courtly lover or courtly love concept became very popular those days, because in other words, her very unattainability especially renders his love for her more pure and virtuous. And in some other, I think, W.B. in his another in one of his poems, like the tower, he says, which which thing can be remembered for a long time, whether the love succeed or love betrayed. What is the which one can be remembered for a long time? Why Romeo and Juliet or Layla or Majnun is still, or Devdas and Parvati are known even today? Because of what? Because of their love failure, right? So normally negative gets more what publicity than the positive love affair. So here also, that's why I think this is what Shakespeare meant here. Sorry, courtly love meant here, because of their unattainability of their love. This become more pure and virtuous. Even if she were to favor his devotion or her purity and his respect for it, might prevent him from wishing to consummate their love. This is what the courtly love concept. Because a courtly lover generally can never hope to consummate his love, he is eternally suffering. Spiritually, he is suffering. Courtly lovers were known to be continually sighing, weeping, trembling, growing pale, and finding themselves unable to sleep, as if they had a delightful disease. Right? Of course, nowadays this is also called we think that these days love is called as a disease, but since it is many centuries, what they have called the Italians, they consider that this kind of state is a delightful disease. These cold lovers, they are suffering from delightful disease. So it was a common conceit that a courtly lover would wander around at night, crying, weeping, and composing poems or songs for his love. See, this is the origin of this courtly love, and this courtly love is what I can say is the important form, and this is the base for constructing the beautiful form in English form of a poetry in English literature or Italian literature as it was originated in France first, right? In French literature, that is the sonnet form. Hope you have understood the background regarding the sonnets and how it originated and what is the main thing. Again, you are facing the same problem in spite of switching off the video. Yeah, can you hear me now? Don't know what to do. Yeah, hope I am audible now. I don't know, suddenly for a few seconds it goes off and again it comes in. Yeah, you have to bear with me because I can't help it, and then sometimes even I'm trying my best to correct it, but still it happens. Yeah, let me move on with my sonnet. And as I told you, I will discuss few of the sonnets prescribed for you this semester. The first and foremost, sonnet number 15. As I told you, sonnet number 1 to 126 are called as friendship sonnet. What I can say that these are the sonnets dedicated to his close friend. So in sonnet 50, the first 8 lines, the word surveys how objects mutate, decay over time. So he says that everything that grows holds in perfection, but a little moment. Why does he say like that? Everything, whatever that grows, holds in perfection, but a little moment, but a little moment. In other words, life is transitory, and ever changing. Can we uh, see? That's why there is a saying that time and tide meets one, right? So time is transitory, and we cannot hold it back because this is somewhat. Everything is what I can say. Everything, though everything is transitory in this world and everything is changing constantly, but still we have to live amidst of all these things. Even the youth's beauty will fade over time, but because the poet knows that this metamorphosis is inevitable. I think in this sonnet he is talking about the importance of time and how it fades the beauty of a young woman and how it fades the feelings of young people, and also how he gains, anyone can gain even a stronger appreciation of the young man's beautiful appearance in the present time, at least in the present time within the sonnet. So ironically speaking, the young beauty or the youth's beauty is both transitory and is it permanent? No. Transitory because all things in nature mutate. We all know. Yeah, definitely. I will do. Hope you are listening to my lecture now, or again facing some problems. Yeah. I'm audible. Am I audible? In Sonnet 15, yeah, I was talking about Sonnet 15 and how ironically the young youth's beauty is both transitory and permanent. Transitory because all things in nature mutate and decay over time, and permanent because the inevitable aging process, and which the poet is wholly aware of as inevitable, intensifies the young man's present beauty, generally the more momentary. So, Sonnet 15 introduces another major theme that will be more greatly developed in later sonnets. The power of the poet's words to memorialize forever the young man's beauty. And that's why here Shakespeare says that I engraft you new, the poet says at the end of this sonnet, by which the poet means that however steady is the change of or the charge of decay, his verses about the young man will keep the youth's beauty always fresh and always new. The sonnet immortalizes this beauty of a young man, and ironically, the poet's sonnet served the same purpose as a son, whom the poet wants the young man to father. So he also says in the one of just I want to quote a line from this sonnet number 15, and all involved with time for love of you as he takes from you, I engraft you new. So in these lines, the speaker declares war on time that seeks to rob the young man of his youth, because those were the days. Even recently, the war never ends within a year or two, right? That's why he says that the war on time that seeks to rob the young man's beauty. So, as with everything that grows, he will lose his beauty and vigor one day. But even as time ages its war on youth, the speaker's words describing his beauty give a fresh life to the young man's appearance in the sonnet. And this is all about sonnet and how he talks about beauty, time, and young youth or young age. It changes in a span of time, right? And even sometimes, though he also says that he also admits both the things. Young youth is not permanent, and at the same time, he also says that it is delightful and permanent because only life is transparent and life is sorry transitory, and how important the time is, and how the time wages war on young's beauty or youth's beauty, young man's beauty. And in in sonnet number 18, again we have a speaker asking the subject if the speaker should compare the subject's beauty to that of a summer's day. Sonnet number 18, can I compare thee to a summer's day, like that? It titles goes like. So the speaker is asking the audience or asking his friends that can I compare your beauty to that of a summer's day? Why? Yeah, but we Indians we don't want to compare anything to a summer because it is quite hot. But in England, it is only just like I think only for a few days they can be able to see the sun. So for them, summer is somewhat like a spring for us in India. So there would be no point in doing so. The speaker asserts because the subject is so far superior. There can be harsh winds in May, and summer doesn't last very long, as I told you. Sometimes the sun is too hot, and on the other times clouds obscure it. Besides everything that is beautiful at some point of time, which becomes less beautiful in another. And this is the result, as a result of this chance or the regular course of nature, for them summer is special. Okay, but the subject's beauty will never diminish, nor will it be forgotten when he dies, because he will live in this sonnet in eternal lines to time. Okay, can you please tell me with whom he is talking about, or whom he is addressing this sonnet to in this line, especially? He says, "But the subject's beauty will never diminish, nor will it be forgotten when he dies, because he will live in this sonnet in eternal lines to time," which means that though he dies, his his name will be remembered whenever this sonnet of him, because he has what I can say, portrayed his close friend in this sonnet, and his close friend's heart and mind and his beauty in this sonnet. So whenever the reader reads this sonnet, definitely his friend gets rebirth. That's why he says that though he dies, but he will be alive eternally in the lines written by me. Who is saying this? Shakespeare. So as long as people are alive and can read this sonnet, will keep the subject alive in the memories of the people in the future. This is how he uh, portrays and he glorifies the friendship of the speaker as well as himself. Can you hear me now? Or again, same problem? Yeah. And how this sonnet also, as I told you, he is praising his close friend. And the most, actually, this is possibly the most famous in the entire sequence of his sonnet, and which also follows the Petrarchan format. In that, it poses a problem in the octave and on the first eight lines, and then offers a solution in the sesset. Sesset is the last six lines. So, although the solution doesn't become completely clear until the final couplet, the rhetorical question of the first line invokes the long tradition of sonnet writers, especially sonneteers and courtly lovers, in praising the beauty of the ladies they write about by comparing them with the beauties of nature. But for the octave or first eight lines, we have Shakespeare's speaker makes the case that there is no point in this practice. And he comes up with four reasons why summer is not perfect, as it has a stretching definition of summer, including May, and brevity, heat, and clouds. And then he asserts that anything that is beautiful at some point of time become less beautiful on the other point of time, right? And so in line, we have, I think, in line 7, Shakespeare plays with the meaning of fair in using the word twice. In the first case, it seems to mean the beautiful thing, but it can also mean beautiful woman. In the second case, it means just the beauty itself. So the sesset, the final 6 lines of this Petrarchan sonnet begins with "but," indicating the water or turn or twist in this poem. The speaker has just made the case that summer is transient, but the subject possesses eternal summer or eternal beauty, meaning which is clearly unnatural beauty, immortality, we can say immortal beauty, so on. So the reader at this point begins to detect a mystery or puzzle that will not be solved until a few lines later. The speaker further asserts that the subject will not wander in the shade of the personification of death, meaning that the subject of the poem will not be lost in the shadows of death, and he will not be overshadowed or forgotten. The reason is that he will not be forgotten because he will grow in eternal lines to time, which becomes, as he says himself, that which becomes another piece of the puzzle to be solved. And finally, the couplet solves the mystery by asserting that as long as this, which means this can be read and seen by men, which means he is talking about his entire collection of sonnets. Okay, so as long as this can be read or seen by men or readers, then the subject will be kept alive. So now the reader understands that the lines mentioned in line 12 are the lines of the sonnet. So this here we have a self-conscious reference to the words of the sonnet, which is a common motif always, okay, in the sonnets of Shakespeare and other English sonnets, earlier English sonnet. Yes. So it is very common for poets to write about the difficulty and the importance of writing. Indeed, Sir Philip Sidney and other sonneteers, or whether his contemporaries or prior to him, they also followed the same thing. Can you still, are you facing the same problem, or Hope I am audible now. Am I audible now? Hope I am audible. Yeah, so far I was discussing about sonnet number 15 and 18, and now I came to sonnet number 29. So, in this particular sonnet, again, the speaker describes himself in a state of despondency when he is out of luck and despised by others, feeling like a cursed outcast out of God's favor, wishing that he had other skills or wisdoms or friends. So now we have a very pensive tone of a we can able to see the pensive mood of a speaker because he feels so cursed and he feels like as though he's detached and he's all alone and he's okay because he's away from the real society, from his friends and from wisdom or skills. The speaker says his mood becomes like the lark at break of day arising to sing hymns at heaven's gate. So he feels how his mood is when the poem opens. He is the lark at the break of day arising to sing hymns at heaven's doors or heaven's gate. So just the memory of the subject's love makes him feel so lucky and so wealthy that he will not let the situation even to be a thing. Regarding the meaning, in order to analyze this poem, the speaker in this sonnet might be said to exist in the tradition of poetry now, in that he is suffering and his beloved has great powers of inspiration and comfort. And why he is suffering? Because his beloved is not accepting his love, his proposal. So it is this sonnet is written in a Petrarchan form because the octave or first eight lines describes the dilemma or a problem of the speaker's sad mood or sad state. And then the set illustrates what brings him out of his sad state to a mood of joy. And the volta or turn or occurs as it is typical in line number 9, because I told you 1 to 8 lines in Petrarchan sonnet is called octave. So octave always raises questions, so always describes the dilemma or problem, and set comes up with the solution, right? So obviously the twist occurs in line number 9 with the word act. So this is one of the I can say that this is one of the 3 of Shakespearean sonnets in which the entire poem is a single sentence. Why single sentence? Because it is clear, sometimes not clear, whether there is a real cause to the speaker's low feelings, but he feels out of favor with fortune and other men. The farmer might be a reference to the Roman goddess Fortuna, who arbitrarily determines human beings' fates by spinning her great wheel. See, if we read at least one of Shakespearean poems, anyone for that sake, there will be hidden meaning and there will be loads of meaning one can understand and one can, he has drawn so many other things and mythological definition and so many. So here, in order to understand this poem, he had also brought some mythological references here. What he says, especially here, we have a Roman goddess Fortuna, who arbitrarily determines, and she used to determine the human being's fates by spinning her great wheel. Okay, so the goddess is traditionally contrasted with divine providence or wisdom, since God won't listen to his prayers. Okay, so that's why the speaker feels cursed and powerless, and he also becomes envious of others' skill and scope, means mental ability, because the lark in Elizabethan poetry is traditionally thought of as rising from earth and singing to herald the morning. And here we have in the sonnet the simile and especially a comparative involving the lark illustrates how light his soul has become at the thought of his own beloved. So as if he has flown from the earth to the gate of heaven. Okay, so the final couplet of this sonnet discusses true love in monetary terms, a recurring metaphor in Shakespearean poetry. What is the true love he talks about? And for thy sweet love, remember such wealth brings, and that then I scorn to change my state with kings. See, this is the final couplet which discusses love in monetary terms. For thy sweet love, remember such wealth things that then I scorn to change my state with kings. Because he, in order to reach his her what status, or in order to make his love reach to her, he has to reach, or he has to change his status to the wealthy kings, he says. So the final couplet of sonnet number 29 illustrates the power of beloved to completely change the speaker's mood. Because friendship between the speaker and the fair youth is an example of the platonic or an ideal love. It also illustrates the poet's power to change the mood, a power that he perhaps cannot wield by virtue of his incredible physique, but that by exhibiting it in writing, he slyly claims himself to be his lover's equal. And in sonnet number 30, we have a speaker who describes a moment of melancholy reflection in which he holds court in his mind and summons up, or he summons up a remembrance of things past. He just wants to, uh, he just feels to summon his past, or his past things or people. So when he thinks silently of the past, he regrets not having what he once wanted, and once again becomes sad about the things what he had lost and what made him sad in the past. And he cries for friends who have died and for loves he had lost, and he bemoans the absence of things or persons that are gone from him. And he can once again grieve what grievances he has already gotten over, and he can also recount them as if they have just newly occurred. But if he thinks of the person he loves as he does this, he feels as if he has lost nothing, that all losses are restored and sorrows end. He feels, and even here also we can find that though the sonnet begins with a negative mode and a negative this thing. Yeah, let me check my connection. Am I audible now again, or are you facing a problem? Yeah, you are not able to listen to my voice. Sometimes it breaks and sometimes it happens, and even we teachers we cannot help it. And as I was discussing about sonnet number 29, and then I moved on to sonnet number 30, as the final couplets of sonnet 30 contains the altar. As I told you that this is the turn of the sonnet, because it demonstrates the effect of the beloved as upon the speaker, and has a complete reversal of the speaker's mood. So the sadness, especially Shakespeare creates a somber mood in sonnet number 30, as in this sonnet, partly through his use of alliteration and repetition of both words and sounds. So we have the session of sweet silence in the beginning, which evokes the sound of some whispering in a quiet courtroom. And sad, especially sadness, it alliterative echoes resound throughout the poem, and sighs and sought in line like weep and woe or love's long. These are the phrases we can find in this sonnet. And he also says that somewhat like in the first four lines, we have an alteration of the W sound, accentuating the sorrowful words like woes, wail, waste, and so on. 71, where Shakespeare uses his characteristic pairing of opposites, like with old wars, new veil. And this echoes intensify in each line of the third section, third quatrain, that grief at grievances. Okay, and in line number 9, also woe to woe, and in line number 10, for bemoaned moan, and in line 11, we have like pay as if not paid, and this kind of alliteration he makes, and he also, Shakespeare knows how to play with words. That is part one, right? So this is all about the Shakespearean sonnet number 30. And still, are you facing same problem? Yeah. Hope you can listen me now. You can hear me now. Yeah. Sonnet number 71. Here we have the other three sonnets. How we had mood, how words mood becomes increasingly morbid. Here also he anticipates his own death in sonnet number 71, as he says, "No longer mourn for me when I am dead." This is how the sonnet starts. No longer mourn me, no longer mourn for me when I am dead. And from this wild world, with vilest wrongs to dwell. So this is somewhat like the elegiac mood or the sad mood of a poet, expresses a sense of loss as much for the poet's departed youth as for the actual prospect of death. So here we should note that the poet characterizes the world as wild, which means a strong condemnation of the age, in which artificial beauty is more cherished than the young man's natural beauty. Okay, so the poet asks the young man not to grieve for him when he is dead, or even remember his name. So, never wanting to cause the youth the pain, the poet is afraid that if the young man grieves for him, his woeful thoughts will replace any loving affection he may still have for the poet. Because the young man does not appear to be as infatuated with the poet as the poet is with the young man, such sentiment on the poet's part is rather presumptuous, especially when he then adds. And he adds at the end of the sonnet, like, "But let your love even with my life be." But let your love even with my life be. This line gives the youth slightly the poet earlier in the sonnets. At this point, it would not be unreasonable to ask what love the poet thinks the youth still has for him. See how beautifully Shakespeare is explaining his love towards his friend and vis-a-vis his friend's affection or what a trust towards him. So, in the final couplet, the poet urges the young or the youth or maybe his friend not to grieve for him, lest the wise world should look into your moon. This is the couplet, or these are the lines we can even find in sonnet number 71. In its couplet, lest the wise world should look into your moon and mock you with me after I am gone. Again, the poet is more concerned about the young man's reputation than he is about his own. So, in these lines in sonnet number 71, we have a speaker who explains that he wants the young man to forget him completely after he dies. And as this might spare the young man grief. Because he says, according to Shakespeare or according to the speaker of the sonnet, he says that if we remember something because of their memories, it will haunt us. So that's why he is requesting his friend to please forget me once I die. Okay, so such a request reveals the selflessness of the speaker's love. He prefers the young man forget him, and he should move on with his life, and he should move on than remember him and move. So such a request shows speaker's love, respect, and affection towards his close friend to take care of the needs and the well-being of his close friend or the well-wisher, even after his own death. And here in this sonnet, we have symbols like flowers and other as flower is known for platonic ideal of beauty, and the platonic ideal of beauty is also present in all these sonnets, and how Shakespeare applies these notions of beauty in the sonnets in many ways is also very, very important. And how destructive march of time for a poet who places so much importance upon an unchanging eternal standard of beauty, the decay and decline resulting from the progress of time is a prominent theme from the very beginning of these sonnets. So then he also talks about, after reading the sonnets, we can also able to grasp what is the power of poetry, especially in the hands of Shakespeare, right? And though he has a very humanistic outlook, all his sonnets displays, but still, we can able to identify it, they have, or Shakespearean sonnets have the typical of the confidence of the Renaissance and of the Elizabethan period in particular. So Shakespeare clearly intends the same with regard to the fair youth. His intentions in regard to the dark lady are more obscure. Okay. Hope now you are now you can able to trace or identify what I am talking about. And so far I have discussed I think 5 sonnets. And let me move on to another sonnet number 73. As in this sonnet also, the poet indicates he is feeling that he has not long to live through the imagery of the wintry bow or twilight's afterglow and a fire's dying embers. See, all these images in this sonnet suggest impending death. Okay, what are the things he talks about? Here we have a wintry bow, twilight's afterglow, and a fire's dying embers. So all the images in this sonnet suggest that there is an impending death. So that's why he doesn't want to live, and he has not long to live through the imagery of the wintry bow. And that's why uh, he says, especially, we should note how these are the images, or these are the imageries he follow in order to talk about the meaning of or the perfection of life, or the meaning or value of life. And there is a line called phrases like, when yellow leaves or none or few do hang upon those bows which shake against the pole. So in the second quatrain he talks of twilight, and after the sun fades in the west, a traditional metaphor for death, twilight and the sun fading or the sunset. This is, as we all know, the traditional metaphor for death. Death is close to the poet in this second quatrain, for he imagines death twice more, first as black night and then as sleep. Okay, in this sonnet, he what is the central theme of this sonnet? Death. Okay, so he compares death to a black night and then to a long sleep. So he says that death's second self, sleep as death's second self. So the third quatrain recalls sonnet number 45, and in which the poet likened his desire for the young man to purging fire. So now, however, his fire is but a dying embers, a deathbed, fueled by his love for the youth, and consumed with that which it was nourished by. So we have to know the pause indicated by the period after each quatrain in this sonnet, because the longest pause comes appropriately after the third quatrain, before concluding the couplet. And we have especially we have a clear conclusion in this sonnet, which is drawn from the preceding lines, like, this thou perceived, which makes thy love more strong. To love that well, which thou must leave long. So this says that, believing that he will soon die and can never sees the young man again, the poet's love for the young friend intensifies. So he says that after my death, I cannot able to see my close friend. So that's why he says that, this thou perceived, which makes thy love more strong, and to love that well, which thou must ere long. And this is what he means here. And in sonnet 116, we can also see the definite or definitive response to the meaning of true love. And the language of this sonnet also, as usual, is what I can say, very simpler. Despite the confessional tone in this sonnet, there is no direct reference to the youth. So the general context, however, makes it clear that the poet's temporary alienation refers to the youth's inconstancy and betrayal. So the essence of love and friendship. This is very important, and these two important concepts or the central themes we can able to find in this sonnet number 116. Okay, I hope you are following me. So the essence of true love and true friendship for the poet apparently is reciprocity or mutuality. So in sonnet number 116, for example, the ideal friendship, especially ideal relationship, can any kind of relationship is referred to as the marriage of true minds. Okay, he says that whether it may be a love or it may be friendship, it should be like a marriage of true minds, and it should be a union of true minds, or it should be a union of loyal minds or sincere minds like that, and that can be realized by the dedicated and faithful people. And that's why the title of the sonnet is "Let me not to the marriage of true minds and the judgment impediments." Okay, so here that's why he considers and he compares true love to the ever fixed mark, and sometimes he also compares it to a northern star. And he also says that true love is not true love. Love is not true if it changes according to times too. He says, and if love or if any friendship changes according to time, then it is not a genuine relationship or genuine friendship or genuine love. That's what. So he says that the poet, especially, he introduces the concepts of space and time and applying them to his ideal of true love, saying that love alters not with his brief hours and weeks, but bears it out even to the edge of dawn. So here we should know that alters love alters not with brief hours, which means that time cannot alter a true love, cannot be able to do it, and it cannot be before the time and before the true emotions or feelings or true friendship and true feelings. So finally, with absolute conviction, the poet challenges others to find what I can say, to find him wrong in his definition. If this may error and upon me prove, I never read nor no man ever loved. So he says that if the love changes according to its time and it is not called true love, so if this can be proved error, what I said, then I won't write as though as a man never loved in his life. So how beautifully this sonnet ends with a beautiful imageries and great definition, and it's a great saying, I can say. So just how secure the poet is in his standards of friendship and love, so which he hopes that he and his the youth or his friend can achieve is evident in this concluding couplet. He states his own poetry as his wager that love is all he has described it to be. So that's all for today. Hope you understood and hope you have followed what I had told you and what I have discussed. And in my next class, tomorrow is the last class, I think, and I'm going to talk about Agamemnon. Okay, yeah, Aeschylus, Agamemnon, and the remaining sonnets. So whatever is remaining for today, I think only three sonnets. Any doubts so far? Are you all with me? Any doubts so far? No? Or again facing the same problem that what you are not listening what I am saying here. Any doubts? No doubts. Okay. Thank you. Thank you all for your patient listening so far. Thank you once again. If you have no doubts, then I can sign out from the session.